Well, hello family. Hope you are well. The last video you saw had to do with defining love, and we sort of unpacked quickly the worldly definition of love, the definition that most of us are accustomed to, and then we defined biblical love, agape love. But even going deeper into the definition of love, we see in 1 John chapter 4, verse 8, John says, God is love. In other words, God is the definition of love. This is a direct attribute. What this means then, now notice what this text does not say. It doesn't say love is God, because that would mean then that there's a standard of love that defines God. And so that we get to define love, and whatever's lovely is godly. And that's not true. It's not a one-for-one comparison. God is love. God defines love. Love doesn't define God. And so God is the one who defines and demonstrates love perfectly. If you want to think of it this way, God defines love first, finest, and fully. And so God's definition of love comes first. It is the originator of all love. Out of God's definition of love is where we should get our definition of love. And God's definition of love is the finest, which means it is perfect. It has no filters or no dross, no impurities. It is a perfect type of love, and God's love is full. He loves us fully, completely. We aren't lacking anything in the love of God. God defines love, which means then if God's sort of main characteristic is love, that means everything God does flows out of love. And so whether he corrects or comforts, whether he disciplines or disciples, whatever God does, he does it out of love. And so even in our culture, think about how that's anti-cultural, anti-intuitive, if you will, right? It is just not what we expect. We expect, based on the world's definition of love, that love is never going to ever confront sin or bad issues or bad behavior. Love is just saying, hey, everything's okay. But God defines love, and God's sort of main character to us is love. So God is light, God is love, God is holy. Those are important and intricate parts of God's makeup, if you will. Now, here's what you must understand is that love isn't some activity that God does on the side, but its very nature is to love. So again, which means that everything that God does, it flows out of a heart of love. Whether he says yes or no to your prayers, God is still love. And that's hard given our cultural understanding of love. But from a biblical understanding of love, God is the definition of love. Not only is God the perfect definition of love, he is also the perfect demonstration of love. This is what the Bible teaches in 1 John 4. Verse 9, where it says that this is love, that he sent his son. In fact, one of my favorite verses is Romans 5:8, especially when he speaks about it, he says, God demonstrates his love. God displays his love for us in that while we were yet sinners, while we were yet rejecting him, while we were yet running away from him, while we were yet cursing him, while we were yet being our own God, Christ died for us. Again, if you want to apply those three F's, first, finest, and fullest, then God demonstrates his love first. He initiates love. So biblical love initiates. We don't wait to love people. We initiate the love. Our love is not contingent on people and what they do, because remember, agape is this unmerited type of love. And so when you think about love, from God's perspective, he defines it perfectly. So he defines it first, which means his definition comes first, which means that's where we get our definition from and should get our definition from. His love is defined. God defines love finest. And so which means it's the perfect definition of love. There's no lack in there, and the fullest. And in the same way, he demonstrates love the first. He initiates love. He initiates the demonstration of love. He doesn't wait for us to demonstrate love, because we can't. This is love. Not that we first love him, but that he first loved us. And he does the finest. And so his demonstrated love is perfect. He gave his only perfect son. The term there, only begotten, has to do with that he is the unique one. And so he gave the best gift he could give for our salvation from sin and from the power of sin, to come into a life that's new. God did not come to just make your current life better. He came to change and transform our lives. And so that's what we see. And he does it fully. His love demonstrates fully in that so much that his love transforms us, comes to give us not a sort of part B of our life, but a new life. He transforms us. So God is the perfect definition and perfect demonstration of love. So as you think of love, as you think about how you display love to your friends and to your family, is your love mimicking the love of your Father? Is it first? Is it fine? And is it full? God bless you, and I will speak with you soon as we go deeper into what it looks like to love practically.